TJ here. Today I'm going to be quickly going over how to install a rear dash camera and where to run the cabling for the easiest possible route. Now I'm sorry about the background noise, there is an awful lot of traffic at the moment, there is nothing I can do about that. Unfortunately I do not choose where I do these installations and when I have time to record them. So moving on, here we're fitting as an example this next base camera, it's a rear camera. This plugs into the front camera, so this is designed for when you've already got a front camera. If you need to know how to fit a front camera, then I have many more videos on my YouTube showing you how to do that on various cars. This particular one, as you can see, is labelled front camera, rear camera, and this one has an angled end. And there's your little rear camera. Little USB there on the side for it to plug into, and sticky pad mount. Now I will just advise, if you have dab aerial on the rear of your car, you can get interference. You won't know until you've powered it up and tried it, okay, so just bear that one in mind. Basically a case of unplug the camera, and if your interference goes away, then your camera shielding is not very good. So first things first, what we're going to do is come to the rear of the car, get yourself a plastic leverage tool like this, and basically lever out the rubber grommet. I'm going to need both hands to do this, but lever out both ends of it. Some are little clips that you squeeze from, you just pull them out and pull it down. There we go. So we end up with both ends detached. Like I say, this end's got little clips. Next up, get yourself some WD-40, spray a bit in, let it settle in, both ends, all the way through really. And this is to soften it up so your cable will slide nice and easily through it. Without that you're going to get stuck and it's going to be a pain in the neck to do. So just to make it a bit soft, yeah, do both ends of it, and then we'll move on to routing the actual cable. So with this piece soaking in WD-40, we now move up to the rear panel at the top of the boot lid. Most cars are on little poppers and you can normally just pop. There we go. A lot of cars are designed like that. Obviously check your owner's manual or some of my other guides if in doubt. So this gives you now access to the other side of the rubber grommet. There we go. We can put our cable up, through, and end up out here so we can have the camera in the centre. So now go ahead and we're going to thread the cable through, down the hole and through here. Okay, like so. Feed the cable down, through, and then because of the WD-40 you can normally just shove the end of the cable through like I have here and pull it through. If not, you want to take the end of your cable to a long screwdriver and just use the screwdriver to shove it through and guide it. Just like I say, electrical tape it to the end of the screwdriver, shove it through, but most of them are supple enough to get the cable through. We're then at the area here where we can push it into the car. To do that we're going to need to remove the rear of the headlining. Now most headlinings are on little plastic clips that you just sort of pop out and then you can lower the lining down to get to it. Just bear in mind, if you've been using the WD-40, your hands will be covered in crap, and if your headline is beige like this car, it could get filthy. I was wearing gloves, so I took them off just to do this bit. And here we have one of the securing clips, if I can angle my camera, that's come out of here, so we pull that out. Probably take the other one out as well, and then we'll be able to drop the headlining down from above to get to the cable. So we now have cable basically here ready for the camera, little few inches there, 5 or 6 inches, threaded down through here and then coming out under the headlining here. Like I say, most cars are similar, so we will be taking this cable all the way along the top of the car, so we'll be going all the way across the top of the doors, etc. to the front. If you've got curtain airbags, don't worry, just try and avoid them a little bit. I mean, if an airbag deploys, it will soon move a little bit of cable out of the way, so there's no need to worry there. Obviously pop your rubber grommet back in. If it's being stubborn, again use a bit of WD-40 just to supple it up to get it back in. Like I say, some of these do actually click in, like this one. There you go, clunk, that's back in. When you put your rear trim panel back on, it's normally just a case of giving them a good tap where the mounting lugs go to get them back on. And then we'll continue with the cable through the car. So we're now basically sitting in the rear seat of the vehicle. You've got your cable to here on the rear headlining, and normally the rear trim panels again are on poppers and you can just pull them away. If not, you should be able to just push your headlining enough to shove the cable down, tuck it down out the way, all the way along. Now some are stiffer than others, and on Audis the headlining actually is pushed in a recess, and you have to pull the headlining out and away and tuck it behind. Some of the very old cars, the headlining is bonded and glued in which case you'll have no choice but to come across to the door shut and go down and under the sill pillar. But that's only on really old cars where the headlining is bonded to the roof and the screens. On newer cars, anything in the last, well, sort of 20 years, literally, you can normally tuck it along the top here and up here. Now, on the bits when you get to the doors, you're best to open the door, like so, and pull off the rubber seal, because that gives you a little bit more breathing space. Just pull it down, there we go, so you can get your fingers nicely behind. So follow your cable all the way along, right the way across, tucking it under until you get to the centre pillar. Okay, we've now got the cable to here. Like I say, you can normally just put your fingers behind and pull the centre pillar. This is the centre pillar of the car. Pull it forward a little bit so you can tuck it behind. You're now free to put your rubber door seal back on. Just tap, tap, tap all the way along just to get it back on there. Nice and flush. You're looking for a factory fitted finish here, so you don't want it all bulky or not straight. Make sure it's smooth. And like I say, take your gloves off. You don't want marks all over your trim. So once again, we're going to tuck it down behind here, and then follow it along the front leading edge of the front door, above the front door there, until you get to the top of the screen pillar right here. Right, so we're at the front pillar here where your airbag is and everything, yeah? And we've put the rubber seal back on after tucking it all the way along under the very edge. Normally front pillars are on poppers. This particular one is. Basically we've pulled it, popped the top popper so it comes away a little bit. If they're not on poppers, you can just pull it a little bit just to get a gap. Certain brands of cars such as Audi, that type of thing. Yeah, some have a little airbag symbol here that you pop off, a little plastic cover with a little bolt underneath. You undo the bolt and then you can pull them forward. Varies on design. They're normally not complicated to remove. I mean, it's not rocket science. You just pull it forward a little bit just to get a gap. You don't even have to unclip some of them. You can just shove it down the edge. Obviously, there's an airbag behind there. Now, a lot of people worry and stress about cables going near airbags. I assure you, if an airbag deploys, it will soon move a bit of wire out of the way. Or you can tuck it under it. You know, that's the safest route that I've taken here on this particular car, because this being a curtain one, so I've tucked it under the airbag and behind it. But like I say, I've test deployed quite a few over the years, and they'll soon move a bit of wire out of the way. It's no big deal. So there we go. Let's just thread that through. There we go. Quite a long wire on these. You can have a lot of spare wire to tuck out the way. Now you're going to need to end up tucking it out the way under the headlining at the front or under the rear pillars, etc. Depends on the length of your vehicle really. In this particular car I'm left with about 5 or 6 foot spare. We're going to tuck it up along the edge here until we get to here, and normally your camera will be mounted here ready to plug it into. Obviously if you're going to wire your camera to the fuse box, which you probably will if you're going to go to this much trouble, consult one of my other videos. I've got pretty much every major car doing a separate video of how to wire it to the fuse box of the vehicle individually, which could help. If I haven't got your exact car, I've probably got one that's wired exactly the same. You can always pop a question in the comments to ask me about specific vehicles. I'll try and get back to you as quickly as possible. So once we've run that along the front here and it's in the correct location ready to plug into the front camera, because this one, like I say, takes its feed from the front camera, so a little bit of wire popping out here just to plug into it like this. If your roofline is not holding the cable very well, what I normally do is pop a couple of cable ties around the wire just to sort of widen it up. You can wrap them in electrical tape if they've got sharp edges so they don't rub the inside of the headlining, and then you can normally just sort of put them up behind, and they're enough to bulk the cable up enough to stop it from falling down, especially if it's a pothole or something. So you're just left with a few inches and it's not going anywhere. Look, nice and tight. Now we've got the cable tie. I've got another one here just to help it, sort of thing. And that's it. You're on to mounting your rear camera now. And there we go. Rear camera mounted, cable tucked away. We can get rid of the little tags now. Don't need those. Front camera. And there's ideally how you want to be looking for your front camera. So this is your rear output going to the rear camera that I've shown you. This is the front one. Like I say, it's powered from the fuse box. refer to other videos that I've done for your Pacific car regarding that and how to power them with the ignition on and off. That's much better than having a trailing wire going down to your cigarette lighter, going up here and then to your fuse box of your vehicle. Very simple to do. Literally should be done within an hour if you're going to power it from your fuse box, so it goes on and off with the ignition key. Nice and tidy. Guys, that is it for this video. I hope it was of some help to somebody out there. If it was, click like. If you thought it was a load of rubbish, fair enough, click thumbs down, no problem. See you again next time. Bye for now.